everyone, and I am really excited today. And I know you have a new face. Well, that is Miss Hema Vinod. Welcome, ma'am. And Hema, it's a pleasure to have you on this talk show. And I'm sure you have a lot to tell to the audience out there. But before she begins,
Thank you so much, Shamsha.
But before she begins, I would request Hema to tell her something about the upcoming book. Well, she's an author. I'm sure you're impressed now. Hema, can you tell me about your upcoming book?
Thank you so much, Shamsha. Yes, of course I will. It's all about parenting teens. And it's like a whole resource for parents and all those who are interested in teens to support them through this journey. Well, because as we know, it's a very challenging time, the teenage years and the preteen years. So this book is aimed to support everyone who lives or works with teens.
Okay. Hema, can you tell us something about yourself?
Okay. I've been an educationist for over 3 decades. And then I've worked in various countries. Last year in March, during the lockdown, I came down from India after my work abroad. So I decided to become a parenting and life coach. So I started my training for this. And also I got the idea of writing a book for parents. My interest area is teens, and I felt that this book would support parents to give the best kind of parenting.
Absolutely. Actually, parenting a teen is one of the most difficult tasks that parents go through. And especially with all the experienced versions of parenting and the modern version of parenting fusing in, and our generation is like a sandwich, to be frank with you. And I am a preteen, teen, mother too. So I know those hiccups that we get during this journey of parenting. Now, Hema, it's normally said that parenting a teen or a preteen is like developing in the teens an attitude of surrendering. Do you think that is right? And I would also like to know, what is parenting of teens according to you?
Okay, could you repeat that?
What is parenting? What points should we keep in mind when we are parenting a teen? And normally, expectation of a parent is that a teen must surrender. This is the old school of thought, orders should be followed. So do you think that is right today?
No, because basically when we are talking about teens, there's a lot going on. They're changing physically, mentally, emotionally, cognitively. So that's a time they need the greatest support. And we should not think of something like where the parent is all in control and the teen just has to obey. No, it's a journey, and the book Parenting advises that we should be like partners on that journey. So we give that great support that the teenagers need. So it's not about surrendering, but about really understanding the teenager and giving them all the support they need in that journey.
Excellent.
As they transition to adulthood.
There's a beautiful word that you use, partnering.
Yes.
How do you think a parent can partner with a teenage child?
Basically, if you think of it as a journey, the preteen and the teen years, it's a journey of moving from childhood to adulthood. So that's a time that a lot is going on, because the teenager is changing physically, mentally, emotionally, cognitively, and also he or she is finding their self-identity. Okay. In addition, they're also preparing for their adult roles and responsibilities. So a lot is going on. So if you want to give them the best, you will support them in that journey by understanding what's going on and bonding very well with them.
Of course, that's something wonderful that you have said. And you've been working a lot and you're into a number of projects that work towards empowerment programs of teenagers. Can you tell us something more about that and how your book leads to this concept of empowering?
Ultimately, my interest area is teens, and my mission is to reach teens with the right skills, the skills of leadership, life skills, so that they're able to go into adulthood with the right skills. So my interest is in supporting everything that supports a teen. So I've also worked with parents, trained parents, and also I'm developing a community of teens and parents wherein they can get all the knowledge, all the awareness, all the support, all the mentoring to be supported in this journey.
Exactly. And it's also said by William James that, what is needed in a teenager is the alteration of attitudes. And I think that is what parenting is all about. Parents normally try to alter, modify, change the behavior of the child. And in the process, we land up into some kind of tussles and puzzles that really, get into the teething trouble. And there are adjustment problems between the parent and the child. Now, Hema, I would also like to ask you at this point, because I'm sure a number of mothers and fathers out there who are listening to you at the moment want to know, how do you develop specific roles of a teenager? Because it's normally a phase wherein a teenager is becoming an adult. So what should we do in order to get them into societal roles? How do we prepare our children?
Basically, when we have a very nurturing environment and we communicate very well with the children, we also support them to take on some of the responsibilities at home, at school. So it's kind of a gradual process of supporting the teen to take on greater responsibility, to be aware of transition into adulthood, the kind of roles that will be expected. So as we improve our communication, as we bond better with the teen is also able to understand what is expected of him or her. So my book deals with the 7 principles, and practically every area is covered, every area that's important for parenting or parenting a teen is covered. Because if you follow these 7 principles, it unlocks positive parenting.
Well, after revealing those 7 principles which you have just hinted in this particular talk, can I ask you to throw some more light on what your book contains and how can it be purchased?
So basically, I wanted the book to be a one-stop resource that parents can use as they parent the teens. So this book covers everything. So basically, as I said, there are the 7 principles, and also following the 7 principles, there are issues that teenagers face nowadays and which are very real in the current world. So there are issues like stress, addictions, peer pressure, depression, health issues, because sometimes you find teenagers are starving themselves or becoming obese. So common issues that teenagers face. So these are also laid out very clearly for parents to take action, because these are some things that we see among and around us. Also, there are interviews with experts. So these interviews with experts gives a lot of wisdom to the parent to take away from. So in a sense, they are like my co-authors, 10 interviews. So the parents will find this, parents will find this really a valuable resource.
Of course, I mean, it's a rare combination wherein we are going to have a multiple perspective, I guess, in the book, wherein a number of people are going to talk to the readers. And parenting is all about changing your ways and learning new ways and unlearning the old ways and so on. So I guess it's a journey that keeps on flowing, as I see in your background. So it's a perfect background that you have set for your talk to. Now, do you think teenagers are into a process of evolving themselves into adults, and they do need certain care or special attention in certain aspects as they are growing up?
I personally feel that we have to understand the background. that teens are going through. Because generally, if you look at it as a normal situation, it's not true. Because as I mentioned earlier, they're going through all these changes. Their brain is developing till the age of 25. So we have to, once we're aware of all these things that the teenager is facing, we are generally more understanding, more supportive. But generally what happens is we just see it as another part of life. And we don't give them that support, that understanding that they may need. So
Very
this is
true.
where the problems crop up. So we need to really be aware, create that awareness, not only among parents, but among all those who deal with teenagers, like teachers, educators, social workers, everyone in the humanitarian world, people, you know, who have who are running NGOs like you. So everybody needs to be aware of the situation, the challenges that teenagers face, so that they can give greater support.
That's so comprehensively delineated, I must say. You really presented it so well. And I think that is something that all of us should just grab and comprehend it. Uh, Hema, the last question that I would like to ask you is, can you tell us about your book, the name of the book, and what made you write the book? Because any author who writes a book wants to reach out. So can you just share your journey?
Yes. So the book is called Parenting Made Simple. So, it should be something simplified for parents, you know, because it's, as I mentioned earlier, there are so many challenges that parents go through. So to make it as simple as possible, I've laid out these 7 principles that parents can follow if they feel that, you know, this area is where I need support. So they can go to that principle and follow it. So these 7 principles have been tested and tried by parents, and it has worked in most of the cases. So it's something that can work, and parents can, you know, get that support from the book. So it is something that I felt as a book, it should have the tools, it should have the resources, it should have the knowledge, the wisdom, everything combined as a one-stop resource. So that's what it is.
That's lovely. So I'm sure we are all excited to get this one-stop resource, because it's going to be like a Bible of parenting or a Gita of parenting, whatever you call it. And
I
that's
hope so.
lovely. Yes, it would be, I'm sure. And I'm sure it's going to be a great success. And I have personally
Thank you
seen
so much.
I have personally seen you working virtually, and you know, in so many groups and activities. And I must tell everyone who is listening to us right now that we must grab this book and we must try to understand in detail what are the different perspectives to parenting. And Hema, you've done a wonderful job by even trapping the emotions of the teenagers. And I think that is what most of the books are not able to do, because you said that you are talking of things like addiction, of, you know, different conflicts that they face. And I think that's one of the challenges that parents are facing today. We do not know where our kids go. They are exposed to social media, and that's a huge barrier, you know, to reach out to the parents. Like, I, being a mother, sometimes try to reach out to my daughter, and then, you know, I might get a call or she might get a call, and then it's like, you know, we go either ways most of the time. So I'm sure we try to get back, we try to connect, but I'm not really sure how many parents really do that. So it's going to be a very valuable contribution that you have made. Thank you so much for being with me and sharing your views. And I'm sure we all will all have a great treat. Thank you, Hema.
So much, Shamsha. If I can just add a point
Sure.
about how the idea developed. You know, I'm a mom of 2 grown-up sons.
Okay.
And I went through all this period when my teenagers were, I mean, when my sons were teenagers. And I felt totally ill-equipped, because I didn't know much about how to deal, and they were evolving so quickly. And I believe I didn't do a great job of being a mother as a mom of a teenager. So that's where the idea came in, that I, you know, maybe with this knowledge that I have, and all that I've learned in working with teens and parents and as a coach, Why don't I put that knowledge together so that it can help parents they are better, so that they're better equipped, they're better informed, and better aware to do a great job as parents of teenagers.
That's lovely. Actually, that is the journey of empathy that you have traveled and you're trying to give back to the society. And I think that's really beautiful. And I must congratulate you, Hema, because by writing this book, which is not an easy task to do, you will be reaching out to so many mothers, and many mothers will find help through that, so that the mistakes or the right doings are mistakes are not repeated and the right doings are repeated. And that's lovely. So thank you so much for being with us.
Shamsha.
And thank you everyone for listening to us.